5 signs he's playing you and you're falling for it. You think he's just busy. You think he's just not ready for commitment yet. You think if you're patient and understanding, he'll eventually choose you. But what if he's not confused about what he wants? What if he knows exactly what he's doing, and you're the one being played? By the end of this video, you'll know the 5 signs he's manipulating you, using you, and keeping you as an option while he explores other possibilities. And more importantly, you'll know why you've been falling for it. This isn't about making you paranoid. This is about giving you clarity so you can see manipulation for what it is and stop wasting your time on men who were never going to choose you. Sign 1. He keeps you uncertain about where you stand with him. Let's start with the most important sign that you're being played. You constantly feel confused about where you stand with him. And here's what you need to understand. That confusion isn't an accident. That's strategy. Men who are genuinely interested in you make their interest clear. They pursue you consistently. They define the relationship. They make you feel secure in their intentions. Men who are playing you keep you in perpetual uncertainty because uncertainty keeps you chasing, trying to prove yourself, and accepting less than you deserve. Think about the conversations you've had trying to figure out what you are to each other. You ask where the relationship is going, and he says, "Let's just see where things go." You ask if you're exclusive, and he says, "I don't like labels," or "Why do we need to define it?" You ask about his intentions, and he says, "I'm just going with the flow right now." These aren't answers. These are evasions designed to keep you waiting without him committing to anything. Men who want you make it clear. They say, "I want to be with you," and "You're my girlfriend," and "I'm not seeing anyone else." Men who are playing you keep it vague so you stay available while they keep their options open. And watch for the timeline that never arrives. "I'm not ready for a relationship right now, but I really like you." Or, "I just need more time to figure things out. Once I get through this busy work period, we can talk about being official." You believe him and wait. Months pass. The timeline keeps extending. The goalpost keeps moving. He's buying time to keep you around while he pursues other options or avoids committing to you. Your confusion is his goal. If you're constantly analyzing his behavior, trying to figure out what he wants, if you're talking to your friends endlessly about what his actions mean, if you're Googling things like, "Does he like me if he does X?" you're exactly where he wants you. Because if his intentions were clear, you wouldn't be confused. Your confusion is deliberate. And the mixed signals are intentional. One day, he's all in, texting constantly, calling, making plans, acting like your boyfriend. The next few days, he's distant, unavailable, treating you like an option. Then, just when you're about to give up, he comes back strong again. This inconsistency isn't confusion on his part. It's calculated to keep you emotionally off balance. Just when you're ready to walk away, he reels you back in with just enough attention to keep you hooked. Here's why you're falling for it. You're optimistic, like maybe he just needs time to process his feelings. You're patient, like I don't want to pressure him. You're understanding, like he's been hurt before, so he has walls up. Your positive qualities, patience, understanding, optimism, are being weaponized against you. He's using your willingness to be understanding to avoid giving you what you deserve. One woman, Mia, had been seeing Ryan for 8 months. They went on dates, had sex, texted every day, met each other's friends. But every time Mia asked, "What are we?" Ryan said, "I really like you, but I'm not ready for a relationship yet. I just need more time." Mia believed him. She was patient. She didn't pressure him. At month 6, she asked again. "I'm almost there. I just need to get through this busy work period." At month 8, Mia found out through a mutual friend that Ryan had told someone else he was single. When Mia confronted him, Ryan said, "We never said we were exclusive." Mia realized the confusion hadn't been confusion at all. It had been strategy. He'd kept her uncertain so she'd stay available without him committing to anything. And she'd fallen for it by being patient and understanding while he kept all his options open. So stop accepting vague answers. "We'll see" isn't an answer. Demand clarity. Set a timeline. "I need to know where this is going within the next month." Stop making excuses for uncertainty. If he wanted to be with you, you wouldn't be confused. Watch his actions, not his words. Does he act like you're his girlfriend, or like you're an option he's keeping available? If he can't or won't give you clarity after a reasonable amount of time, he's playing you. Walk away from ambiguity. Sign 2. He's only fully present when he wants something from you. Pay very close attention to when he shows up versus when he disappears. If he's attentive, responsive, and affectionate primarily when he wants sex, needs emotional support, wants entertainment, or needs you to do something for him, but distant and unavailable the rest of the time, you're being used. Men who genuinely care about you are consistently present, not just when they need something. Let me describe a pattern you might recognize. He barely texts during the day or early evening, but between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., suddenly he's very interested in seeing you. "You up? What are you doing?" He comes over, he's affectionate and attentive during the visit, you have sex, and then he disappears again until the next late-night text. This isn't a relationship. This is a booty call arrangement where you're the late-night option when he's bored or horny. Or maybe he's the emotional support vampire. When he's going through something difficult, he's constantly texting and calling. You're his therapist, his support system, his emotional dumping ground. He tells you all his problems. He vents to you for hours. You're there for every crisis. But when you need support, or when he's doing fine, he's nowhere to be found. When you're going through something hard, he's busy or gives you surface-level responses. He's using you for emotional labor without reciprocating. Watch for convenience-based interest. He wants to hang out when it's convenient for him, his schedule, his location, his timing. But when you need something or want to see him on your timeline, he's busy. He expects you to be available when he calls, but isn't available when you need him. You're fitting into his life only when it suits him. That's not partnership. That's using. And notice what happens when you start to pull back. When you start to distance yourself or seem like you're losing interest, suddenly he's very attentive. He senses you're slipping away, so he love bombs you back into availability with attention, affection, sweet messages. Once he's secured your attention again and you're back to being available, he returns to being distant. His interest level correlates directly with his fear of losing access to what you provide. He doesn't want you, he wants what you give him to remain available. Why are you falling for it? During those moments when he is attentive, you feel valued, and it feels like a real relationship. You tell yourself, "See, he does care, he just has a hard time showing it consistently." You focus on the good moments and minimize all the absence. But you're being breadcrumbed. He's giving you just enough to keep you hoping while he takes what he needs from you. Jenna noticed this exact pattern. Marcus would barely text her during the week, maybe a few messages here and there. But every Friday and Saturday night around 11 p.m., he'd text, "What are you up to?" If she was available, he'd come over, they'd have sex, he'd be affectionate and sweet, then he'd leave again. Sunday through Thursday, he was barely responsive. When Jenna needed support after her grandmother died, Marcus sent a "sorry for your loss" text and didn't check in again for 4 days. But the next time Marcus was stressed about work, he called Jenna 3 times in one day, needing to vent. Jenna finally realized Marcus was fully present only when he wanted sex or emotional support. The rest of the time, he didn't exist to him. He wasn't his girlfriend. He was a resource he accessed when convenient. So track the pattern. When is he attentive versus absent? What does he want during the attentive times? Stop being available on demand. If he only reaches out late at night, stop responding. Require consistency. I need someone who's present consistently, not just when they need something. Test reciprocity. Next time you need something, reach out. If he's unavailable, you have your answer. If the pattern doesn't change immediately after you address it, he's playing you. Walk away.
Sign 3. He won't integrate you into his life. When a man is serious about you, he integrates you into his life. He introduces you to his friends and family. He includes you in his social activities. He posts about you on social media. He talks about future plans that include you. If he's keeping you separate from the rest of his life, you haven't met anyone important to him, he doesn't post about you, he makes excuses why you can't come to events, he's compartmentalizing you. Either you're not his only option or he doesn't see a future with you. Months into the relationship, you still haven't met his friends or family. When you mention it, he says soon, or it's not the right time yet, or I want to make sure we're solid first. Meanwhile, he's met your friends and family. This is a huge red flag. Men who see you as their girlfriend proudly introduce you to the important people in their life. Men who are playing you, keep you hitting. Look at his social media. He's active on Instagram, Facebook, whatever, but you're never in his posts. You're not in his profile picture. You're not tagged in photos. You barely exist in his online presence. When you mention it, he says, I'm private about my relationships, or social media isn't real life. But meanwhile, he posts about everything else in his life. His workouts, his food, his nights out. Just not you. He's keeping you off social media so other women don't know you exist. And notice your social lives are completely separate. He goes to parties, events, hangouts without inviting you. When you ask why you weren't included, he says it was just a guy thing or it wasn't that serious. But you find out later there were girlfriends and wives there. Just not you. He's living a single life socially while keeping you available privately. Listen to how he talks about the future. He talks about his career plans, travel plans, where he wants to live, but you're never in those plans. If you try to insert yourself, we could do that together. He's vague or changes the subject. He doesn't talk about we or us, only I and me. Men who see a future with you speak in we. Men who don't speak only in I. He's planning a future that doesn't include you. Why are you falling for it? He's framed being kept separate as him being private or taking things slow so you don't push. You tell yourself you're being understanding and not clingy. You focus on the private moments together and ignore the public exclusion. But you're accepting being a secret because he's convinced you it's respecting his privacy. After 6 months with Tyler, Ashley had never met any of his friends or family. She'd asked multiple times, and Tyler always said, soon, I just want to make sure we're solid first, or my family is complicated. Ashley had introduced Tyler to her entire social circle. Tyler was active on Instagram, posting about his workouts, his meals, his nights out, but never about Ashley, not one photo. When Ashley mentioned it, Tyler said, I'm private about my relationships. But Ashley noticed Tyler had photos with his ex from years ago, still on his profile. One day, Ashley showed up at a party Tyler had said was guys only to find multiple women there, including several of his friends' girlfriends. When Ashley confronted him about being excluded, Tyler got angry. You being clingy. That's when Ashley realized she wasn't being kept private, she was being kept hidden. Tyler was living a single life publicly while keeping Ashley available privately. So set a timeline for integration. I need to meet your friends and family within the next month. Stop accepting the I'm private excuse. Private doesn't mean secret. Watch if he posts everything else but you. You're being hidden. Listen to future talk. Does he speak in we or just I? If he won't integrate you into his life after months, he never will. Walk away from compartmentalization. Sign 4. He uses your insecurities to keep you trying to prove yourself. Men who are playing you often identify your insecurities and subtly exploit them to keep you in pursuit mode. They make comments that trigger your self-doubt. They compare you to other women. They give you just enough validation to keep you hooked, but withhold enough to keep you trying to earn their approval. This keeps you focused on proving you're worthy of them, instead of evaluating whether they're worthy of you. Listen to the comments he makes. You're pretty, but you'd be even prettier if you lost a few pounds. Or, you're great, but my ex was really spontaneous and adventurous. Or, I like you, but I'm usually attracted to women who are more... These are subtle negs and backhanded compliments designed to make you feel like you're almost good enough, but not quite. Men who value you don't critique you to make you insecure. They appreciate you as you are. He mentions other women frequently. Exes, co-workers, friends, women on social media. He points out qualities they have that you don't. He makes you feel like you're competing for his attention. You start changing yourself to be more like what he's described, losing yourself in the process. He's deliberately creating competition anxiety to keep you trying harder. And watch for conditional validation. You feel like you have to earn his affection by looking a certain way, acting a certain way, being available enough. His approval feels amazing when you get it, but you only get it when you meet his conditions. When you don't meet his conditions, he withdraws warmth. Love shouldn't feel like a test you're constantly taking. Healthy love is given freely. Manipulative love is given conditionally based on your performance. He also criticizes your appearance, your personality, your choices, but frames it as just being honest. I'm just telling you the truth that other guys won't tell you. When you get hurt, he says you're too sensitive or can't handle honesty. Honesty in healthy relationships is kind. Cruelty disguised as honesty is manipulation. He's eroding your self-esteem so you believe you're lucky he's tolerating you. Why are you falling for it? He's internalized the message that you need to be better to keep him. You focus on fixing yourself rather than questioning why he's constantly critiquing you. When you do get his validation, it feels earned and therefore valuable. He's trained you to believe his approval is the prize and you're the contestant. David would tell Sophie things like, "You're beautiful, but if you lost 10 pounds, you'd be perfect." Or, "I usually like brunettes, but you're cute anyway." Or, "My ex was really spontaneous and fun. You're more serious." Sophie started working out obsessively, dyeing her hair darker, forcing herself to be more spontaneous to match what David wanted. When she'd succeed, David would give her validation. "See, you look so much better now." But then, he'd find something else to critique. Sophie was in constant pursuit mode, trying to be enough for David, never realizing David was deliberately keeping her insecure so she'd never realize she could do better. And friend finally asked Sophie, "If David thinks you need to change this much, why is he even with you?" Sophie realized she'd been so focused on proving herself to David that she'd never evaluated whether David was actually good enough for her. So notice the pattern. Is he building you up or breaking you down? Stop trying to prove yourself. If you have to earn his love, it's not love. Call out criticism. I need a partner who appreciates me as I am, not one who critiques me constantly. Evaluate if you've changed significant parts of yourself to please him. If his affection depends on you meeting his standards, walk away from conditional love. And before we get to sign number 5, if this video has given you the clarity you needed to finally see what's been happening, hit that subscribe button. We're here to help you recognize manipulation before you waste years on the wrong person. All right, let's keep going. Sign 5. He gaslights you when you question his behavior. One of the clearest signs you're being played is what happens when you question inconsistencies in his behavior. If he makes you feel crazy for noticing red flags, if he denies things you know happen, if he turns your legitimate concerns into attacks on your character, he's gaslighting you. Men who are genuinely invested in you take your concerns seriously and address them. Men who are playing you make you doubt your own perception, so you stop questioning behavior that should absolutely be questioned. You bring up a legitimate concern about his behavior and he responds with, "You're being crazy," or "You're so insecure," or "You're paranoid." Instead of addressing the behavior, he attacks your credibility. This is deflection designed to make you doubt yourself instead of trusting your instincts. Your concerns are being pathologized instead of addressed.
Watch for memory denial. "I never said that," when you clearly remember the conversation. "That didn't happen," when you know it did. You're remembering wrong when your memory is accurate. You start questioning your own memory and perception because he's so confident you're wrong, but he's rewriting history to avoid accountability.
And notice what happens when you bring up hurt about something he did. Somehow the conversation ends with you apologizing to him. He positions himself as the victim of your accusations or your lack of trust. This is called DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim, and offender. It's a classic manipulation tactic. In healthy relationships, hurt feelings are acknowledged and addressed. In manipulative relationships, they're reversed, so the person who caused harm becomes the victim. Even when you have proof, screenshots, messages, witnesses, he finds ways to dismiss it. You're taking things out of context. That's not what I meant. You're twisting everything I say. No amount of evidence will make him accountable because he's not interested in truth. He's interested in avoiding consequences. Your reality is constantly being challenged and invalidated. Why are you falling for it? You start doubting yourself. Maybe I am being too sensitive. You stop bringing up concerns because it always turns into a fight where you end up apologizing. You apologize for having legitimate feelings, and that's exactly what he wants, for you to stop questioning and start accepting. If you've stopped trusting your own instincts about his behavior, you're being gaslighted. Every time Rachel brought up concerns about Jake's behavior, the late-night texts from women, the canceled plans, the time she caught him in lies, Jake would respond the same way. You're being paranoid. You're so insecure. I can't deal with your jealousy. Rachel would end up apologizing for bringing it up. Once, Rachel saw flirty texts between Jake and a coworker. When she confronted him, Jake said, "That's not flirting. That's just how we talk. You're reading into it because you're insecure." Rachel started thinking maybe she was crazy. Maybe she was too sensitive. She stopped bringing up concerns because every conversation ended with her apologizing and Jake positioning himself as the victim of her accusations. A year later, Rachel discovered Jake had been cheating the entire relationship. When she confronted him with proof, Jake said, "You drove me to it with your constant paranoia." Even then, he was making her doubt her reality. Rachel realized she'd been gaslighted so effectively that she'd stopped trusting her own instincts. So trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it is. Your gut isn't lying to you. Document conversations so you can verify your memory later. Talk to trusted friends to get external reality checks on his behavior. Don't accept being called crazy. I'm not crazy for noticing inconsistencies in your behavior. And if he won't acknowledge reality, walk away from the gaslighting. If you're realizing he's not just playing you, but actually using you for specific things, make sure you watch our next video on the 5 signs he's using you and you're ignoring them. Sometimes it's not just about keeping options, it's about what he's extracting from you while giving nothing back. Links in the description. Let's recap the 5 signs he's playing you and you're falling for it. Sign 1. He keeps you uncertain about where you stand. Vague answers, moving timelines, deliberate confusion that keeps you chasing. Sign 2. He's only fully present when he wants something from you. Sex, emotional support, entertainment, but absent the rest of the time. Sign 3. He won't integrate you into his life, keeping you hidden from friends, family, and social media. Sign 4. He uses your insecurities to keep you trying to prove yourself, nagging, comparing, giving conditional validation. And sign 5. He gaslights you when you question his behavior, making you feel crazy for noticing red flags. Here's what you need to understand. Men who genuinely want you make it obvious. They're consistent. They're clear about their intentions. They integrate you into their lives. They build you up, not tear you down. They address your concerns instead of making you feel crazy for having them. If you're confused, if you're constantly trying to prove yourself, if you're being kept hidden, if you're questioning your own reality, you're not confused. You're being played. And the reason you're falling for it is because you're optimistic, patient, understanding, and willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. But those positive qualities don't change the fact that he's manipulating them to use you.
If you recognize 3 or more of these signs in your current situation, you already know the truth. You've known for a while. You've just been hoping you were wrong, but you're not wrong. Your instincts are right. The question now is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to stay and keep being played, hoping someday he'll change? Or are you going to walk away and find someone who doesn't play games? If this video gave you clarity, subscribe to this channel. We're here to help you recognize manipulation before you waste years on the wrong person. Drop a comment telling me which sign hit hardest for you, or if you've been played before and finally left, share what made you finally walk away. Your story might be what another woman needs to hear. You deserve someone who chooses you clearly, consistently, and completely. Someone who doesn't keep you guessing. Someone who doesn't use your insecurities against you. Someone who treats you like a priority, not an option. If the man you're with isn't that person, he never will be. Stop waiting for him to become who you need. Start walking towards someone who already is.